So the Washington Post headline goes with Trump talks tough in Arizona, speaks softly in Mexico. How would you tie together the last 24 hours from what we saw from Donald Trump in Mexico?
Well, I think what I'd say is that there's been a lot more positive attention to the overall relationship in the past couple of days between Mexico and the United States. This is the relationship that touches the daily lives of more American citizens than any other relationship in the world. We trade over $1 million a minute. 5 to 6 million U.S. jobs depend on what we sell to Mexico. Mexico is the second largest buyer of U.S. goods. So this is a really important relationship, and it's much more complex, much more important to the U.S. than has been clear in the campaign rhetoric up until now.
Having said all that, do you agree with Donald Trump, though, that Mexico has benefited more from NAFTA than the U.S.?
I think that we can see that all three of the countries that are members of NAFTA have benefited significantly. If you look at the serious economic studies of NAFTA, you don't find any agreement that there's been large losses of jobs in the United States. Those losses of jobs in other studies are attributed to trade with China and to the introduction of new manufacturing technology in the United States. The irony is that the number of manufacturing jobs in the U.S. has been declining for decades. At the same time, the output per worker has been going up because of this new technology. But the new technology requires fewer workers, and it requires workers that are better trained.
You know, Ambassador, you highlight the economic links and the importance of these connections. You know, one thing that's maybe not talked about as much is U.S. employers who may employ many immigrants, Mexican and others, if they're now faced with something like Donald Trump is kind of proposing here of constant scrutiny of their credentials and essentially making them kind of always under pressure to try and find undocumented immigrants. Is that going to be a business concern? You've already heard agribusiness, for example, say this would be a big problem.
Well, agricultural business has regularly said that they would like to have a clearer system for allowing the legal presence of workers who come temporarily to help them out in their harvests. And I think other studies have found that that might be the same in service industries, restaurants, and similar kind of industries that need this kind of skill level for their jobs. So I think that that there is a lot of use that could be made productively in the U.S. economy of people at lower skill levels, which would include immigrants, but also U.S. citizens.
Wasn't the goal of NAFTA to get U.S. companies and manufacturing more competitive? It strikes me that 22 years after the passing of this, Mexico is still heavily dependent on exports, and most of those exports go to the United States. So is there scope for renegotiating this for a more modern economy and to get U.S. firms more competitive?
Well, I think first you have to look at the fact that trade between Canada, Mexico, and the United States has grown about 4 times during that period. So there's been a tremendous amount of growth. And if you look at the history, the number of U.S. manufacturing jobs actually grew for the first years of NAFTA through the 1990s. I think a change came when China entered the competitive field in the world, and they were a challenge both for the United States and for Mexico. But both countries have adapted, and a number of the studies that have been done suggest that we were more competitive because we could partner with Mexico to create these production chains that spanned both countries and all of North America, and that made our products less expensive, and we focused on higher technology jobs. You also know, well, I'm sure that manufacturing jobs tied to exports in the United States pay 18% more than other jobs. Similarly, jobs in the advanced manufacturing sectors pay more than jobs do in the broad manufacturing sector.
Yeah, it could be a whole long debate and an important one. So thank you for joining us. We'll leave it there for now.
Hey CNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Here you're going to find videos packed with all of the information that you need to be smarter about your finances. You can subscribe by clicking right here and click on all the videos around me or the I right here to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.